graduate of Dorset High School.
Do you know Officer Doherty, otherwise known as Sam Shumway?
Yeah, I know Sam. Officer Doherty. We were both transfer students in our senior year, and we were both in marching band.
And did you know the victim, Jason Johnson?
Yeah, we were close. We started a band called Double Trouble, so we spent a lot of time together.
Was Ray Concha a member of this band?
Ray Concha was our manager.
And did you have any problems with Miss Concha being the band manager?
I just didn't trust Ray.
Why?
Ray handled all of the band's money, but even after semesters of the sales, none of us had ever seen any of it.
I turn your attention to February 16th of 2013. Did anything unusual occur that day?
Jason and I got into this argument because he wanted to go to a concert instead of playing a show with Double Trouble.
Was the defendant involved in the argument?
Well, Ray was defending Jason, and she told me that Jason just wanted to have fun.
Did Jason ultimately go to the concert?
He passed out at the concert, so yes.
And what was your reaction to hearing this news?
When I heard Jason passed out, I mentioned to Officer Doherty and Ray that Jason may have had a bad reaction to some drugs.
And what was their reactions?
Well, Ray mentioned to something about Jason taking Adderall, and then asked Sam if she were into that stuff.
And what happened after this conversation with the officer and Ray?
When Jason came back to school, he told Ray and me about his heart defect and how he should cut down on the drugs and drinking.
What happened next?
Jason told us about how he had a heart surgery scheduled for late March.
Did Jason mention anything else to you that day?
Jason told me that Ray was the one who sold him the Adderall.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Your Honor, this is hearsay, how it falls under the hearsay exception rule of declaration against interest. The declarant in this statement, Jason, has put himself at risk for criminal or civil liability by admitting that he was involved with illegal drug dealing, which was the Adderall that passed between him and Ray.
Counsel?
Your Honor, this statement is being offered in, however, to bring in the fact that Ray was the one that gave him drugs. Also, because Jason is not here at trial, the fact that that statement implicated him is irrelevant.
Counsel, what you're arguing there is you're not addressing yourself to whether it's a declaration against interest. You're arguing against the sufficiency of the evidence. So if you could address yourself to whether it meets the declaration against interest, and that's what the court is actually asking you to address yourself to.
Well, Your Honor, it is not a declaration against Jason Johnson's interest because he is not here, so he is not being implicated, and therefore the fact that this statement might implicate him is not relevant.
Objection overruled.
I turn your attention to the night of March 26th. Did anything unusual occur?
We were playing a jig at a club when I saw Ray shake hands with Jason just before I went on stage.
What happened next?
When Jason went on stage, he was sweating a lot and immediately seemed to start acting more anxious than usual.
I know this is difficult, but we need to hear what happened on the day of March 27th. Can you tell us how that day started?
Well, in the morning, I saw Ray standing by the back of the CD with Jason. And the tailgate was open, and Jason was talking quietly to Ray.
What happened next?
I saw Ray handing pills to Jason.
Then what happened?
During band practice, Jason fell over and then later that night died.
Ms. Weaver, how did you react to Jason's death?
Sam and I decided that Jason deserved justice and that we should find out who did this to him.
So what did you do?
I went to Miss McAlister and told her and then Sam exactly what Ray had been up to and that I had seen Ray selling Adderall to Jason.
Why did you go to the authorities about your suspicions, Alex?
Because Ray's drug dealing had gone too far and she needed to be stopped.
By the way, what color is your backpack?
Red.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Thank you. First examination.
Yes, Your Honor. May I proceed?
You may.
Good afternoon, Ms. Weaver.
Good afternoon.
Do you own a blue backpack?
I used to until like early March when it broke and I got a red one.
So, just to be clear, you had a blue backpack until March of this year, is that true?
Yes.
Now, you spent a good amount of time with the deceased, Jason Johnson, correct?
Yes, I did.
You were in a band together.
Yes.
But my client also wanted to be a part of that band, isn't that true?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance?
Counsel?
Your Honor, this is going to show that this is going to affect this witness's credibility because I will continue to ask this witness about the fact that she did not like my client's behavior or the fact that my client wanted to be a part of her band. And therefore, it will show that she did not like my client and may not be able to be trusted in this trial.
Counsel?
Your Honor, the defendant's desire to be in this band has no relation to my client's credibility as a witness.
Maybe your Honor?
Last word, yes?
This question is going to lay the foundation for my next question, which will ask her how she felt about my client being a part of this band.
Objection overruled. We'll see the next question.
But my client also wanted to join your band, isn't that true?
Yeah, she said she wants to be an entrepreneur, so she wants to be the manager to further her entrepreneurial skills.
And she made some comments to Jason about replacing you, isn't that true?
Objection, Your Honor, vague and ambiguous as to some comments.
Counsel, can you rephrase, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Weaver, my client told Jason she wanted to replace you, isn't that true?
Yeah, she joked around about that a lot.
But you didn't find it funny, did you?
Not particularly funny.
Because you didn't want to be replaced, did you?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Counsel?
Your Honor, the fact that she did not want to be replaced by my client and felt threatened by Ray Contra affects her credibility in this trial.
Objection overruled.
I didn't want to be replaced, but I never felt threatened by her.
On top of that, my client sold t-shirts for your band, isn't that right?
Yes, she did.
And you're aware that she made some money from that.
Yes, but none that I knew of actually saw.
And don't you blame my client for that too?
Objection, Your Honor, argumentative.
Objection overruled.
Blame her for what?
Don't you blame my client for the fact that you never saw the money that she made from selling t-shirts and CDs?
Yeah, she never actually showed us any of the money that she had ever made.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Let's fast forward to February 16th of 2013. On that morning, you had an argument with Jason, correct?
Yes, he wanted to go to a concert and started flaking out on the band.
And after your argument, my client showed up, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
She gave Jason a ride?
Yes.
So she took your friend away from you?
Objection, Your Honor, vague and ambiguous as to took her friend away from her.
Objection sustained. If you could rephrase, please.
So she took your friend away from your house and took her home instead, correct?
Yeah, she drove him home.
Let me ask you this. Yes or no, Miss Weaver? Have you taken Adderall before?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Counsel?
Your Honor, this once again goes to affect her credibility.
You can be a little bit more specific, Counsel.
Well, I will continue to ask her about the fact that she took Adderall with Jason Johnson despite knowing that Jason had a heart defect already, which therefore affects her ability to talk about this night and also affects her credibility as to talking about Jason.
Counsel?
Your Honor, my witness's decision to ingest some Adderall does not bear any impact on results or process of this trial. Alex Weaver is not on trial today. It was Ray Concha, that is.
Objection overruled.
You've taken Adderall before?
I'm embarrassed to say that I did, yes.
You took Adderall with Jason on March 26th at a concert, isn't that true?
Yeah, he showed me the pills and said, it's a smart pill, Alex, try some, so I did.
But you were already aware that Jason had a heart defect, isn't that true?
Yes, I did.
You were aware that he should cut down on taking drugs.
Yes.
But you didn't stop him?
Well,
Objection, Your Honor. This question is calling for a creation of material fact.
And that is what?
The material fact is whether or not my witness tried to stop Jason from ingesting Adderall.
Counsel, if you could direct us up to where it is in case packet that would support that answer.
Well, Your Honor, I'm not asking whether or not she tried to stop him. I'm asking whether or not she stopped him, which we know she did not because he did take the drugs with her on this evening.
Counsel?
Your Honor, there is no evidence in the case packet that shows whether or not Alex Weaver did or did not try to stop Jason.
Counsel, so I'm asking you to, for any support in the case packet there that would allow you to make a reasonable inference one way or the other.
Well, Your Honor, there's no evidence in the case packet that this witness didn't try to stop Jason, but that is not what I'm asking. I'm asking whether or not ultimately she did stop Jason from taking the drug.
Your Honor, may be heard.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel is trying to distinguish two different things that my witness did, but they are not they cannot be distinguished from each other. Whether or not my client tried or actually did in fact, both are irrelevant, and it is an unreasonable inference to assume this action.
I'm going to sustain the objection. Continue.
You did not report Jason for taking the pill on that night, did you?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Counsel.
Your Honor, this is relevant because it shows that this witness was not willing to make the report at the time that she was aware that Jason was taking the drug, and therefore it questions her credibility when she made the report the next day.
Counsel.
I withdraw my objection, Your Honor.
Yes.
No, I didn't.
Instead, you took a pill of your own, didn't you?
That's-
Objection, Your Honor, asked and answered.
Objection overruled. Continue.
That night, yes.
And the next day, Jason passed away, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Do you have a prescription for Adderall, Miss Weaver?
No, I don't.
So you voluntarily took a drug that you do not have a prescription for, is that true?
Yes.
Let's be upfront, Miss Weaver. You've driven in Ray Conch's car before, is that true?
Yes, I have.
You were in Ray Conch's car the morning that Jason died, correct?
Yes, technically at 1 a.m.
And you had some belongings with you, yes or no?
I had my
Objection,
drum
Your
kit.
Honor, vague and ambiguous as to belongings.
Objection overruled.
I had my drum kit that she was transporting to my house.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
And the very next day, drugs were found in that car, correct?
Yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Redirect.
Yes, Your Honor.